Hey y'all, Natalie here today for a cherry on top, and I am using that die right there. It's called Rippling Rings Border Die from Alta New, and it kind of inspired my page, and it goes a little wild from there. But as you can see, I've cut that die in 4 different colors, the 4 squares that are left right there after I just made those cuts. And I'm going to figure out how to use that paper with those circles, rippling rings, and this picture of my little one who just lost his first tooth a few weeks ago. He has the little snaggletooth mouth and he's so stinking cute. But it was definitely a story that I wanted to get told, and it's super funny. So I'm thinking stair steps, and that's what I do end up going with. So I go ahead and just cut my strips because I'm not ready to commit exactly yet, and I lay them down to see how they would look, and then I'm gonna pull out all of the pieces from the, I don't know why that one didn't cut well, but I haven't done that yet, but I will pull out all of the pieces from the insides of these. But first I'm gonna lay down some mixed media. So I did put clear gesso on this smooth white cardstock from Basil. And I'm going to use my koi watercolors you see there on the right to add a little bit of color. So my idea is to add some color in the same color as the blocks under where the circular dies will be. So I'm just kind of like matching colors and making sure I'm painting in the correct area at this point. So at this time I went ahead and laid down water first, and then I'm adding my koi yellow watercolor to the water. I end up kind of alternating between techniques, just going in with the dry paper and then the wet paint and brush, which is what I'm kind of doing there. It didn't really seem to make a difference on this gessoed cardstock. It's a little different, I feel like, when you're using watercolor paper, but I do love these watercolors. I think they carry these in the store, but you can mix them on this little plate up here and truly get any color that you need, which is fun when you're doing something like this. Working with that like burnt orange color there. And at first I thought I was kind of going to go with a rainbow theme because these rippling rings die kind of reminds me of that cute little rainbow, wonky rainbow you see everywhere. And that's kind of where I was going with this color scheme, because a lot of those rainbows you see are this fun, pretty little orangey color scheme. We go away from that, but it's okay because it inspired my color scheme, so I'm happy with that. As you can see, the watercolor dried much lighter than it looked on the screen or than the paper, but that's okay. I'm happy with it. And again, it's just going to be mostly covered up with these rings. It just was going to give us a base of something fun showing through and around the rings. So I pulled out all of the insides of the rippling rings, and now I'm going to rough up the edges of the rectangular color bits. I'm going to rough them up really well. I want a lot of texture on the page, which is why I'm adding the rippling rings on top of the watercolor. And then I do go ahead and trim down each rectangular set to just be little stair steps. So this rippling rings die, I do wish that I had kept the pieces kind of together better, because I do go through and kind of fill out some of the blank spaces. But you could easily do that once you cut it out and put a little piece of tape over it before you pull it out of the die. And then, take out little bits if you want to replace them with different colors. Hopefully that makes sense. So off screen, you can't really see very well, but I went around all of the rectangles or squares with sewing. Just super simple white stitching all the way around. And I lifted up the edges for that texture I would like. And then I built my title, and the title ended up being a hodgepodge of all different alphas. And so that is what made me decide to fill in the rippling rings die with different colors. So instead of using each line as a specific color, we are going to mix colors just to kind of go along with the title. And so that's what I'm doing here. So I'm gluing down the rippling rings in the same color as the blocks on the left, but then I'm gonna go in and fill in just a few of the blanks with different colors that came out of the other dies. And that just is to help match the title, which is full of all the same colors, but not color blocked in the same section, if that makes sense. Color blocking is when you add all that red line would only be red items. But since the title is kind of all over the place, we're going to add red and orange and pink lines and dots into the yellow dye. And I really like the way that ends up looking. It's super fun and interesting. I'm not going to make you watch me do all of it, so we're about at the end, because it was a little bit tedious. But like I said, if I had thought ahead of time to kind of like put a couple pieces of tape onto the back of the die before I pulled it off the metal die, it would have held those pieces in place better and would have been easier to deal with. And they still would have been removable, but anyway, you live, you learn, right? I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing when I initially cut them out. So I backed my photo in white cardstock and I put it up there. My title, I love to be punny, and so I looked up tooth puns and I found one and kind of adapted it to my title. So my title is "Congrats on your first lost tooth, ya filthy enamel." Which, when I read it to him, because he can't read yet, he will think it's hilarious. They love that movie, Home Alone, one of their favorites. So he will love it. I had to work and edit the T to make a T in the proper color scheme. But that's okay. You can't even tell. There you go. Congrats on your first lost tooth, you filthy enamel. I made that little journaling square, but the yellow wasn't right. So I had to pick a different journaling block. It was just from an old journaling card. And then I'm washing off my stamp and I want to date stamp it. And then I also at the bottom add in another tag just to put his name and his age. Even though I know who it is, future down the road, who knows? Who knows what life will be like? So I put his name and his age on like a red label that'll go under that. Plus, I just like the stacking of the different labels and stickers, and it's like a whole tower of words. So I like that. I grabbed a few Pink Fresh Studio cardstock stickers and dies. They just have like the best little words and kind of snarky sentiments at times. So I just picked some that worked with my story, but also that were the same color. And then I thought the top looked really blank. So to help draw your eye diagonally down, I thought I'd start at the top left and I just add another one of those yellow circles. And then there was a circle sticker that was red, and it went really well with the nature of the story, true life, kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly. The funny thing, he just like cried and lost his mind and thought it was, I don't know what he thought, like if he was dying or what. He was very dramatic when he lost this tooth, but obviously he got over it, as he is smiling here in the photo where he put his tooth under his pillow. So I'm just using some of those dies, the circles cut out of the rippling rings, to add just like as little kind of enamel dot situations around the page, just to add those colors in a few more places. And that's about it. I'm going to link down below with my affiliate link to the Cherry on Top store if you would like to get your own rippling rings die or any of the other fun Ulta New products. Oh my goodness, Ulta New just made this new release and it is incredible. I highly suggest going to check it out. Use the link down below, and I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye y'all.